Alright, legends, what's happening? I haven't been on here for a bit. Sorry about that. But I fell down the rabbit hole of quite a few things over the weekend there. I was recording a few reviews and I was trying to get some of the audio podcasts up, falling badly behind and all that sort of stuff. So spending a bit of time in that there. But if you're interested in any of that other stuff, you can check out the website coinsagemedia.com. Everything's linked below, all the videos there, all the social media stuff, and the website's there. So go check out some of the audio podcasts. I'm putting quite a bit of time into that at the moment. But I fell down the rabbit hole of a few TV shows, and one in particular I fell into was Saved by the Bell. If you remember that there, I think it started in 88, 89, could be wrong. Definitely this side of the 80s, more 90s, that ran for a couple of years in the 90s and then spun off into like a new class sort of series. But at the time it came out, I was starting high school. I started high school in 1990 and finished in 95. So the run of Saved by the Bell, it was a school about high school kids essentially, and it kind of resonated well with me because that was kind of where I was at in my own life at that time. And I got to thinking about the kid I was when that show came out, when I was in high school, and who I was coming out of high school before I got married and whatnot. And that's a whole bit other story for another time. I'm now happily divorced, have been for a long time. But I got to thinking, watching the show, no one is really, well, I'm not happy where I'm at in life right now. I've got a lot of things I want to do, a lot of things I want to achieve, so many things. But I got to thinking about the experiences I had when I went through getting married, went through the divorce. Things is great now between me and my ex-wife. We're very good friends. We don't go out of our way to hang out with each other, but whenever we do cross paths, we always make a point of stopping and talking. And there's that kind of understanding there that if she ever needed me for something, I'd be there in a heartbeat, and pretty sure she'd be there for me too. It's just, as you get older, move through life, you tend to, be more adult about things. But I was just thinking about the way these experiences change you as a person, and the person you become through those sorts of things, and the person I am today because of all those experiences. Went through that, I went through the whole religious organisation thing. We'll not get into that again, but those sorts of experiences can leave you very, again through a divorce and whatnot, it can leave you very insecure in yourself. And the whole thing with the church that I was involved in and that whole fiasco, a lot of trust issues there, and a bit of an anxiety was a byproduct of all that sort of stuff. So stuff that I wasn't expecting to deal with at 43 years old. And of course there's the whole painkiller fiasco, and you never think to yourself, when I grow up I'm going to have well, I don't want to say a full-blown addiction, but I definitely did have a stage in my life there where I was very dependent on painkillers, which were basically an opioid at the end of the day. It's not good stuff. That's something that needs a lot more talk about in life that's actually happening at the moment. But when I was watching Saved by the Bell over the weekend there, I fell down the rabbit hole of that there, watched something like a 15 episode streak of the show, and wasted the better part of a day watching it. It's a great show, I absolutely love it. But I started thinking, okay, I'll turn this phone on to silent. I started to think, who would that kid be? The kid I was through high school was very confident, didn't really care much about what people thought about me, so there's no anxiety or anything going on there. There's no insecurities and whatnot. And you get out into the real world, you get your backside kicked and handed to you a few times, and you start to bring all this stuff on board. Now, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't change what's happened to me for a pension. I really wouldn't, because it's created the person I am today. And without those experiences, I wouldn't be who I am. But what would have happened to that kid if he didn't get his backside handed to him over the years, with the whole insecurities after a divorce, and the anxiety after, and trust issues after a bad experience with a church, which is the last place on the face of the planet you would expect to have a bad experience from, and the whole dependency on painkillers. Who would that kid have been if he had gotten a different shot at life than what he actually got? And who would he be today? And it's just a weird line of thinking that went down watching that show, because you kind of, when you're watching an old show like that there, you kind of remember the person you were back then when you were watching it, or at least I do. Anyway, I'm wondering how many of those personality traits is there still left in here, and is it too late to bring some of them back? That's weird. I know it's a random little episode I'm putting up here tonight, but it's just something that I was thinking about, and I would really recommend that if you are in a moment in life where you're not happy, you're not content at where you're at, and I'm always banging on about you want to do something, there's nobody stopping you doing it, but I would recommend actually sitting down, maybe not Saved by the Bell. I know there's a lot of other shows that other people have watched and have the similar experience from their early teenage years, and if you've got a show they got there, or something they got there that you can actually get your teeth into and actually try and relive a little bit of the person you were back then. I know for a fact, like, there's quite a few elements from the younger version of me that I would love to actually get my hands on right now, because you do tend to change over the years in different circumstances. Like, particularly, not so much for me in high school, I was fairly independent, and one of these guys that was just like, you can either like me or hit me, I really couldn't care less. But getting out into the real world kind of give me that hammering right there. But we do change depending on who we're with and where we're at, and it's getting more. I'm seeing more and more kids these days, early teenagers, that are really worrying about what people think about them, and they're putting all this crazy stress on themselves that you really don't need in your life at that age. Yes, definitely, if you've got something like that there that can take you that little journey back into your past, into the Wayback Machine, and see who you were, who you are now, and any of these bad experiences that have changed you for, if you feel it's changed you for the worse, what would that kid be? What would that version of you be that was back then? Who would he be now if he could see it today? I remember a saying, somebody said it, and I don't know if it was a quote of something or where this guy had got it from, but it basically said was, there's only two people that you need to make happy in life. The 8-year-old version of you and the 80-year-old version of you. You know, if that kid can be proud of who you are right now and thinking away into the future, 80 years old, you're in your retirement chair. I don't want to say you're in your deathbed, like, I'm wishing anybody watching these videos would live to their hundreds, because I intend to do that. Yes, if you can get to that age, 80 years old, and you look back on yourself today and think to yourself, okay, he did good. Those are the only two people that you need to actually make happy. No one else. Doesn't matter who it is. Husband, wife, kids, grandparents, brothers, sisters. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the only person you have to live with is the person that's looking back at you out of the mirror. So it's a matter of giving yourself the best shot at being the person you want to be. And if you're not that person yet, go for it. Go after it. Don't let anybody stop you from trying it. And that's kind of where I've been at over the last few days, kind of thinking that over, and you know, can I bring a few of those aspects back? Because you know, you tend to, when you're creating content online, you're almost scared to put some stuff online at times, because you're kind of scared of how it's going to be received by people. You want to be, you know, you want to be putting your best foot forward at times, and you don't really want to slip up. But you know, just with the rules online these days, it's very, very easy to slip up. So I hope this episode made sense to you. I'm not even sure if it's made 100% sense to me, and actually talking on camera here, but it is what it is, guys. It's where I was at, and just the reaction of sitting down and watching an old TV show that I enjoyed from back in the day, and just thinking, wow, I've changed a lot. But as I say, I wouldn't change those experiences, because they have created the person I am now. But what would that kid be like if he didn't go through any of that? If he still had that happy-go-lucky, not worrying about what people thought about him, and just that mindset of either you like me or you don't. I'm slowly kind of getting back to that right now, but there is some anxiety issues still on there, and quite a few trust issues, in all fairness. But again, all that stuff is another story for another time. Guys, sorry I haven't been uploading for a while. I'm going to get back into it as much as I can in the oncoming days. I've got quite a few things that I want to get done, as far as actually getting out, doing some of the travel vlogs in Northern Ireland. I've got a few plans for that there, but it's just getting the time to do it now, because, you know, guy in his 40s working full time, it's not so easy to get some free time here and there. So I'll do what I can, and please consider subscribing to the channel, and let me know how I can do this stuff better for you. That'll do it, guys. I'll talk to you in the next one.